Well, the news has just hit. Pico are looking at launching a new headset in 2026. That's right. I mean, I know a lot of people said Pico have stepped away from making any headsets whatsoever, and Meta are now just going to carry on, and, all these other headsets, Pico just not even going to bother trying. And, well, I think we can say, us Pico fans can actually say that was never the case, right? So when they released the Pico 4 Ultra last year, maybe a bit more than last year, everyone was complaining that it wasn't quite good enough. It wasn't enough of a step up. Well, actually, it was very similar to the Quest 3 with more RAM. So very similar to what some of the other headsets that are coming out at the moment are like. Yes, it doesn't have the extra chip, and no, they didn't improve the lenses. But they've been working on other things. The Pico 4 Ultra is a fantastic headset, and I can't see it moving anywhere. I think the headset's going to be around for a while, competing with the Quest 3, because this new headset is not going to be competing with the Quest 3. It's going to be competing more with things like the Play for Dream, the Samsung XR, and the Apple Vision Pro, and some other headsets that are coming out as well. Which makes this new headset, quite an interesting concept of where it's going to fit in line with everything else. And it's another sign that actually all the headsets are getting better than what Meta are releasing. Because let's face it, we all know that Meta aren't releasing a headset until 2027 now, the Quest 4, which I feel as though won't be as much of a step up as this new Pico headset. Let's say it's the Pico 5, but who knows what it's going to be called. It's just the new Pico headset. I kind of like that. Anyway, this headset's going to have 4K micro OLED, similar again to all the other headsets. But one of the big news articles that have come out is that it's going to have its own R1 dedicated chip, similar to the R1. That's found in the Apple Vision Pro. Now, there's not many headsets that are doing that with separate chips. I mean, even the Steam frame hasn't really done that. They've put a different chip in there, but they've not got a dedicated chip for the processing of the cameras and other such like that. Apple's the only one who's done that so far. So the fact that the news that Pico not only are doing that, but they've developed their own chip is a massive step forward for Pico on a whole, because if they're developing their own chip, then they are a lot more in control than what, say, even Meta are, because let's face it, Meta are reliant on Snapdragon, and the enhancements haven't been there. I mean, even Samsung, even the Play for Dream, they're all reliant on Snapdragon to run it. I mean, even the Steam frame is. So it's interesting, because I'm assuming Pico's still going to have their Snapdragon processor in there. Whether it'll have the Gen 3, which is what's rumoured to be in the new Meta headset that's not getting released now until 2027. So Pico could really hit the ground running here with being ahead of Meta, rather than not playing catch up so much, but releasing a similar headset. The other news from what I'm reading from it is it's going to have eye tracking, which again is another win, because I don't know, if you've never experienced eye tracking, if you've only ever had a Meta headset, you're not going to know the difference. But if you've experienced eye tracking on any headset, you'll know how good it is. Not just for interactions, but for the foveated streaming, for example. I mean, the Play for Dream does it. It's a fantastic use of a piece of technology rather than trying to pretend it doesn't exist. Because that's how it feels with Meta. I know they released the Pro, and I know that had eye tracking, but all those standard headsets have never had it. I mean, the Pico 4 Enterprise Edition had it. The Enterprise Edition, the Pico 4 Ultra didn't, I don't think. Whether they've just been saving all their eye tracking for this new headset, I don't know. But that will, and I think most headsets going forward, I think the Apple effect has had this effect that you need to have eye tracking in a new headset. It just makes more sense. So not only the fact that it's going to have eye tracking, the fact that they've been making their own processor, which again, like I say, I think Meta tried to do that. Did they? I can't remember. I think they were attempting it and decided not to. But the news is just really positive. Not only is there going to be a new headset, but it's going to be a really good headset. I mean, the Pico 4 Ultra, I still rate more than the Quest 3. I still have that on, like, being used, like, more than I do with my Quest 3. Because the tracking, the trackers, the leg trackers and the wrist, waist tracker, I just find make it more immersive. So I find that headset to be a better headset than the Quest 3, and for comfort wise, I mean, it's no comparison. They were one of the first to be doing the battery in the back of the headset, again similar to Steam Frame. Play for Dream. I think the Galaxy XR is lead, isn't it, and a puck. Now, whether whether Pico decide to do the puck, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see where they go. Whether they change the strap idea and have a puck and have a soft strap similar to what the Steam Frame is. Who knows? At this current point in time, it's all a bit of guesswork. But the fact that they've developed their own chip, I say it again, the fact that they're developing their own chip for the processing of this headset is a massive thing. No one else apart from Apple is doing this. So it's been a happy 24 hours because the realization that everyone who not supported Pico, but used Pico and really understood what they were doing. Like, the OS is so much better than Meta's. It doesn't look better anymore. It might need an overhaul. It wouldn't surprise me if they all look very similar by the end of it all. But the actual look, the UX of the operating system isn't great, but the overall stuff inside of it, the actual functionality of the OS is so much better than Meta's. It is. And the Pico Connect is so much better. I mean, but yeah, I am so excited for next year. I don't see myself being on the list to get one early or anything, but that would be cool. Pico, if you're watching, hi, how's it going? But yeah, it fantastic news. The library, everything about Pico, like, the library is slowly built over time, getting better and better. Like I say, the OS is, like, I really like the Play for Dream headset, but only for PC VR. The OS behind it needs a lot of work. And the app library, the library of games, like the app library itself, needs a lot doing to it. Headset's great, eye tracking's great on it, really works well. So like I say, it's got the 4V streaming, that works really well, but the OS isn't up to it. It's great for PC VR. So yeah, I can't wait. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, guys, because I think if you're the viewer who've been watching since I started doing Pico content, I think you'll be as excited as I am. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.